my god. Just literally don't make Louis angry. Where is Harry? Harry, fight for Louis, I swear to God.
You and I, we don't wanna be like them.
Hello everyone, my name is Daria on my channel, and today we're going to watch 5 of the most memorable moments in one-day history from Angel channel. I'm so glad to know this person because she makes amazing videos guys. I just don't know what to say else, just amazing videos. And yeah, let's get started.
Why is it zoomed in like that? No.
This is just me before we go.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel.
Hey.
Unless you're new, then welcome to my channel. My name is Jasmine. I make One Direction videos here on Hey Angel, but I have my other channel, Jasmine Zaid, linked in the description if you want to go see my videos over there. Before I get into this video, I do just want to draw your attention to the sweatshirt I'm wearing, even though you can't even see it. That makes me so mad. It's a Nile sweatshirt. It says Nile Horan.
Oh my god!
Perfect weather.
I want to get
Cutest sweatshirt ever. I have a whole collection of sweatshirts like this, like Louis and Niall and Harry sweatshirts. I made a TikTok about it before, and they're all from Shop Love Simply. They have some of the best One Direction apparel. The quality is so good. So if you want to go on Shop Love Simply and get yourself One Direction apparel, you can use my code JasmineZaid in all caps, just my first and last name, for 10% off of your order. So I'm really excited for today's video. So basically the idea behind today's video is the fact that a lot of people often tell me that they're thankful for my videos because they're brand new to the fandom, and some of the stuff that I put out really helps them learn things that they didn't know about One Direction and the One Direction boys. So going along with that theme, I thought I would actually make a video that really does kind of detail some of the important stuff in the fandom that maybe people didn't know about because they weren't here. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the most memorable moments in the One Direction fandom. Just like events and things that have happened that will go down in history and be remembered forever by people who were in the fandom when they happened. Obviously, I couldn't make a One Direction video about their memorable moments without putting Zayn leaving the band in there, because obviously that's very extremely memorable. So if you don't know, this all started actually a little bit before the actual day that he left. I don't know if you know this or not, but when this happened, it was in March of 2015 while the boys were on the Asian leg of their On the Road Again tour. Zayn was absent from 6 of the shows on the Asian leg of the tour. He was gone for 6 days, and the reason that he was gone is because he needed a break because he was too stressed out. That's what they were saying, like, to the fans. He needs a break, he's stressed out, he's gonna miss some shows, but he'll be back. Nobody knew when he was supposed to be back or really the details of why he was really gone. Like, they just said it was stress. That's it. There wasn't much more to it, and nobody really thought anything of that. It was kind of just like, oh, maybe he's having a family emergency. Some people were throwing around the idea that he was sick. We just knew that Zayn was going to be gone for a little bit of time on the Asian leg. Only a week after Zayn was first announced to be missing some shows because of stress and stuff like that, he actually ended up leaving the band on March 25th, 2015. Like I said, only a week later, which means his final show as a One Direction member was on March 18th, 2015 in Hong Kong. It was announced that Zayn left the band via just a Facebook statement. That was the only thing that was ever released talking about his departure. The Facebook statement wasn't even written in Zayn's perspective. It was written in the perspective of one of their team members and talking about how the boys would continue on as a 4-piece without him. So the news broke, and immediately every single news outlet was all over it. There was articles all over the place talking about how Zayn left the band. Twitter was just up in shambles. I vividly remember everyone feeling like sick to their stomachs and mass tweeting about how upset they were. But when I say the world was shocked, I mean the world was shocked. There was not a single person who wasn't tweeting about this. Like, every single company, even like candy companies and video game companies and talk show hosts and radio stations and other celebrities, everyone this day was tweeting about Zayn. He was multiple worldwide trends this day. Headline, breaking news. It was just like the biggest thing ever. Even though this was such a huge thing that everyone was talking about, Zayn never mentioned anything about it himself. People were furious in the fandom. They were attacking him. There was even people recording themselves like burning their Zayn posters or like marking him out of their One Direction merch like with Sharpies, or like covering his face with stuff, or even t-shirts like covering over him, coloring over him. There was a lot of people who even jumped ship with Zayn. Like as soon as Zayn was out of the band, there was people who followed him out. Like they completely changed their profiles from One Direction to just Zayn and stuck with him even though he wasn't even doing anything yet. He had just left the band. He wasn't like immediately making his solo music right after that. But they still jumped ship and left with Zayn. So there was a lot of beef between the One Direction fandom and people who were leaving to just be with Zayn. Initially when Zayn left, it took a minute for the fandom to kind of get their bearings and to like get over the sad aspect of it. Because on the first day, the second day, it was a lot of shock, a lot of confusion, a lot of accusations being thrown around, people just being upset and sad because he was gone. But then a little bit after that, it kind of switch to this attitude where it's like, no, we don't need to be sad, we're gonna be fine without him, we need to rebuild and come back stronger than ever so that we can prove to the world that we're fine and Zayn leaving is not going to affect us. That's kind of the mentality that the fandom like fell into a few days after Zayn left. They changed their mind. So when that phase rolled around, the fandom kind of turned itself around, and instead of being sad, they started cracking a lot of jokes as like a coping mechanism. A lot of jokes were being made about One Direction being a four-piece now, and about Zayn leaving, and about Zayn being gone. It was just joke after joke after meme after meme. It was just like a funny thing. There's a bunch of like vines being made about bye Zayn, hello OT4.
You thought it was over.
Leg out.
Kind of like that. There was also like an award that was going on at this time, and it was a Kids' Choice Award that One Direction was nominated for. And I know what you're thinking, like a KCA, a Kids' Choice Award, like that doesn't really mean anything. It's not like it's a People's Choice Award or a Grammy or something like really important like that. But it wasn't about the award per se, it was just about the mentality behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was more about trying to prove that we can still come together and do things and win things regardless of the circumstances. We did end up winning the Kids' Choice Award, and that was a really important moment. I think, as cheesy as this all sounds, back then it was important because we felt like we had something to prove, like I said, and then we did prove it. Things did end up getting quite messy again after Zayn left. After the whole, we can do this on our own, let's vote for the KCA's thing. There was also another thing that happened where Zayn was being popped, whatever you want to say, with the music producer Naughty Boy. They were seen together, and a lot of people knew that Naughty Boy was a producer and became even more upset at Zayn than they were before. They were pissed off that he was potentially already working on music by himself, because why else would Zayn be hanging out with a music producer? So the fandom resorted to bullying him. At the time it was At the time it was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I was like 15. I thought it was the funniest shit ever. I was like staying up until 3 a.m. making these like Diddy videos about Naughty Boy. But basically it was this app where you could go in and type a sentence, and then the app would generate it into some kind of song using those lyrics, where this robot would like sing it to you to the tune of popular songs like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So people were going into this app and typing these horrible sentences about Naughty Boy, calling him greasy, calling him a sausage, and then turning these sentences into these funny songs, and then posting the songs on Twitter, like taunting Naughty Boy, making fun of him, dragging him. Louis, if you don't know, ended up getting into beef with Naughty Boy 2 after this all happened. When they were working together, he openly like criticized Naughty Boy on Twitter by indirecting him and Zayn. But that's pretty much all of the events that unfolded following Zayn's departure from One Direction in 2015. Speaking of Twitter beef though, the next memorable moment that I'm going to move on to is One Direction's feud with The Wanted. The One Direction versus The Wanted feud is definitely something that's very, very memorable in fandom, so I'm going to explain it. Now, just for some preface, in case you don't know, The Wanted is a boy band that has 5 members in it, and they're British and Irish, just like One Direction. They were formed in 2009 via an audition process, just like One Direction. They weren't formed on the X Factor. They were formed by some like label talent audition thing. I really don't know. If you know for sure, you can comment down below. I just know that they were, like, they didn't know each other, and then they were put together in a 5-piece boy band. They later signed with Universal Music, actually, and they were managed by Scooter Braun. Now, it's really hard to pinpoint what exactly started the feud between One Direction and The Wanted. I don't think it was like one single event that started this feud. It was kind of a gradual thing that was bound to happen. It unraveled kind of slowly and then just took off. One of those little things that kind of started a little subtle fire was One Direction winning 3 MTV awards that The Wanted was also nominated for. but One Direction won them all. The Wanted did an interview with Chris Moyles after this happened, after One Direction won the 3 awards, and kind of hinted in there that One Direction is more successful than them. And obviously they didn't like that. He just openly said that to them, like,
really?
One Direction is more successful than you. After Chris Moyles told The Wanted that One Direction is more successful than them, they started kind of making jabs at each other in the media. For example, there was an interview that The Wanted did where they were mistaken for One Direction. The interviewer mistaked The Wanted for One Direction, and instead of correcting the interviewer, the boys of The Wanted just went along with it, pretending that they were One Direction instead of correcting him and saying, no, we're The Wanted.
The fact that The Wanted are there, that just makes it I think The Wanted are
the coolest band in the world. Coolest band ever.
Can't wait to see it.
Great guys. Love them.
I've actually met them and they are really, really cool. They're really, really good guys.
During the interview in which they were pretending to be One Direction, they made a claim that The Wanted has a single out that's better than their own single.
New single, new album next year. I think a collaboration with The Wanted.
No, I think The Wanted's got a new single.
Yeah.
Oh, The Wanted have got a new single. Guys, buy it. It's called I Find You. Apparently it's amazing.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Retro.
According to us.
Isn't it
much better than...
I'd buy it.
Better than ours.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, they're pretending to be One Direction. So they're saying, oh, The Wanted has a single that's way better than ours. Trying to say that the Wanted single is better than One Direction's. It just seems like they were just really salty that One Direction was starting to gain more traction and popularity than them.
This is
they didn't like it. They continued to kind of make little pokey jabs at One Direction in the media like that. At one point, they made an open claim that Harry couldn't sing, and they were making fun of Harry and the fact that he wasn't even a good singer and stuff like that. So because of these little jabs that the Wanted was making in the media and like openly calling out Harry for not being able to sing, Louis took it upon himself to start openly criticizing The Wanted during their concerts. So, like, One Direction would have a concert
I'm preparing for
or show, whatever, and Louis would be on stage openly talking shit about The Wanted. The first, like, public Twitter fight that ever ensued between One Direction and The Wanted happened in November of 2012, particularly on November 20th, 2012. That's when a member of The Wanted named Max posted a photo of himself with Usher on Twitter. Zayn, for reasons unknown, I don't know why, commented on the photo and called him a geek. I mean, they already had like a little bit of a feud going on, like subtle little jabs here and there, like I said. So I guess Zayn just took it upon himself to take it a step further and just like openly called him a geek underneath his photo. Which, I mean, that could really be played off as a joke, which Max did try to play it off as a joke in the beginning. He responded to Zayn calling him a geek by saying, "That's right, gorgeous." Like, talking to Zayn, calling him gorgeous, like, "That's right, gorgeous, I'm a geek," you know? Trying to make it seem lighthearted and fun. Then he also tweeted like a standalone tweet, not a reply, just a regular tweet to his page that said, "There's no drama, we're just flirting." Just a bit of flirting. Once again, trying to cut the situation off before it got even further, just trying to pass it off as a joke, like, "Oh, he called me a geek, I called him gorgeous, we're done, it's not drama." But then Zayn was really adamant on making sure that people knew that it was drama. And that he was calling him out.
Zayn, I swear to God, stop it.
Zayn was not having any of that. He wanted to keep going and push it further. So then Zayn put out his own tweet that said, "Clearly some people are not familiar with flirting." So then Zayn responded to Max again and he said, "The first step is acceptance, hashtag geek of the week." But then Max replied, "At Zayn Malik, does that mean I'm in?" Kind of feeding into the drama at this point and no longer trying to cool it down. So then this was Zayn's next reply. He said, "I'm not sure why you're still talking to me, mate. Conversation ended when I called you a geek." And then Max responded again and said, "That's not very nice. I was just starting to like you and your R&B hits." So that was their little feud moment, just Zayn calling him a geek and Max kind of trying to fizzle out the situation. But then he kind of joined in on the fighting. He seemed to be trying to keep it cool, whereas Zayn was adamant on like not keeping it cool. But then another member of The Wanted chimed into the drama and decided to participate as well. His name is Tom Parker. He jumped in and said, "I think One Stripes got his knickers in a twist, bro." The reason why he said One Stripes is because back in this time, Zayn had, you know, the stripe in his hair, where he had black hair and then the blonde stripe in his clip. So when Tom said One Stripes, he was referring to Zayn's hair. Then Louis joined the conversation, even though he was never mentioned anywhere, but that's fair because Tom joined the conversation. So, I mean, I guess Zayn needs backup too. Louis jumped in and said, "Pipe down, bad boy."
Yeah,
and Tom responded to him and said,
here. Louis
"Sorry,
here.
Saxmaster." But then Zayn came back to respond to Tom's original tweet about the stripe in his hair and said, "Mate, if I had a face like yours, my hair would be the last thing I'd worry about."
Oh!
So then Tom took it upon himself to post a picture of Zayn's, like, Take Me Home album cover thing with the caption, "Bradford Bad Boy," trying to make fun of him, trying to stir the pot because they were in this Twitter fight. But then Zayn replied to that and said, "Let's not even start discussing vocal abilities, boys. Would love to chat. Gotta run, though. Rehearsals." Max replying to Zayn and saying, "Enjoy rehearsals. Stay off the bud. It clearly makes you cranky." And the reason why he said stay off the bud is because in this time period, Zayn was on a Twitter break because so many people were accusing him of cheating on Perry and smoking marijuana. Which later we learn that he does smoke marijuana, obviously, but
I mean,
at the time that was never confirmed. It was just rumors, and Zayn was on a Twitter break because of it. So that was a really low blow when Max said to stay off the bud, it makes him cranky. Zayn actually is the one who ended the entire fight by responding to Max and saying, "All right, chlamydia boy." That was the first Twitter fight that ever ensued between The Wanted and One Direction, and Zayn started that Twitter fight. So at this point, I mean, the beef is very clear. At first, it was just like, okay, we're making jabs at each other in the media. Then Louis starts talking about them at their concerts. Now they're publicly fighting on Twitter. People know that they don't like each other, and they continue to talk about them at their concerts. And it's just very clear that they don't get along and they don't like each other. But then comes the second fight with The Wanted. This one's a little bit more well-known. Like when people talk about the Wanted feud, this is the Twitter fight that they usually bring up. So this Twitter fight ensued in April of 2013, just 5 months after the original one with Zayn that we just talked about. And this all began because Louis was on camera openly criticizing Jake Bugg. If you don't know, Jake Bugg is just like another British musician. And Louis was caught on camera openly criticizing him because back in this time, Jake Bugg had openly supported The Wanted in the feud between them and One Direction. He took The Wanted side. But the Twitter part of the feud started when Tom added Louis on Twitter. At Louis Tomlinson, "You even talk about us at your own gigs. Are you that upset that you didn't get in this band?" So then Louis responded to this and said, "Pal, we both know I wouldn't waste my time auditioning for your band. You humor me with your bad boy persona." Tom responded and said, "You were too busy wowing the judges with this." And then linked his X Factor audition. And the hashtags that he used are hashtag Louis got talent, hashtag nice work. Then Louis responded and attached an article with the headline that says, "The Wanted's Tom Parker, my failed X Factor audition shattered me," with the caption, "Uh-oh." Because I guess Tom did audition for the X Factor, but he never even got through on the X Factor, and he ended up being put in The Wanted in a different setting. Tom responded to Louis and said, "Yes, I don't need to call producers to beg my way onto a track over my friends in quotation marks, hashtag crybaby, hashtag loyalty, hashtag Louis got talent." Louis responded and said, "Naive. Interesting you have to entertain your many followers with lies. I actually think you could be the biggest twat on Twitter." Louis responded a second time and said, "Why don't we make your next single our movie soundtrack?" Trying to brag, like, "Oh, we have a movie, what do you have?" kind of thing. And then Tom responded and said, "I'd love to make the soundtrack to Mean Girls 3, implying that that's One Direction's movie. Then Louis said, "Not a bad idea, actually. Maybe Max could ask Lindsay?" And the reason he said that is because Max had this, like, weird, rumored, on-again kind of relationship with Lindsay Lohan, who's obviously in Mean Girls. And then Louis said, "P.S. Enjoy the press from this." And then Tom said, "I'll enjoy the press even more when you come clean. Hashtag Narnia, hashtag it gets better." Now the reason he said this is actually in reference to Larry Stylinson and like Louis' sexuality. He said, "I'll enjoy the press more when you come clean," basically saying like when you come out, when you admit that you're with Harry, then I'll enjoy the press. Okay. Which is fucked up.
I don't like when people
I don't care who you are, if you're some kind of celebrity who's talking to another celebrity, why in the world would you reference their sexuality or out them or anything of the sort? That was really, really fucked up on his part, and a lot of people were really upset with him for it at the time. I mean, as they should be. I'm still very upset that he said something like that. So then Louis responded to that and said, "You clearly spend too much time on Twitter. Funny that face-to-face you act like a little girl. Good night, old friend." Oh my god, I want to see Louis and Tom get into a fight. Like, I want to see Louis fist fight him. And then, randomly, all of a sudden, here comes Liam to jump into this Twitter fight. Like, Louis seemed like he was gonna put it out and, like, stop talking about it. Liam jumped in and said, "Hey, Tom, let's talk about your singing. Your amazing tone pierces my ears with every note." Why did Liam just jump in like that to be like, "Hey, by the way, you suck at singing"? Liam also said, "P.S. Tweet out when you have someone to speak to. Our drummer has more followers than you."
Ooh.
Now that one got him. And then I guess Tom couldn't come up with a good response because he knows Liam was right. Their drummer does have more followers than him. So all Tom said was, "Aw, bless." And then Liam responded again and said, "I know it's embarrassing when you're shit, isn't it?" So then another member of The Wanted, who was never previously mentioned in any of the Twitter fights, a new member of The Wanted decided to speak up, and he actually wrote a twit longer, which I don't think you can do twit longers anymore, but back in this time, you were able to post, like, a long version of a tweet, like, big, long paragraphs, so that you wouldn't be confined to just, like, the character limit. So, a member of The Wanted named Jay posted a twit longer about the fight, and he said, "Dear Louis Tomlinson, please stop mentioning us in your gigs. We certainly no longer mention you, and it's time to let dead dogs lie. Your passive-aggressive style of speaking makes me cringe, and I wish you'd either have the Bullocks or some of your co-workers to speak truthfully, or the class of the majority of them seem to be silent. I'm not sure what's happened since we saw you at the X Factor, but you've done a sterling job of becoming one of the most overrated, arrogant, and not to mention insecure people around. Your shocking lack of talent will only be forgiven by lots of humility and no strings attached friendship among your band. Louis, don't measure your worth in followers or money because they're fickle, and when they go, you might just feel worthless." He really came for him. Like, before all this fighting was just, like, little jabs, like, childish jabs, like, you can't sing. But now this, like... Then Louis said, "This would be a lovely insight for your next book. You must have been a splendid student. Never forget you boys started this." And he's right. Like I said from the beginning, the Wanted are the ones who stirred up this whole feud just because they were jealous that One Direction was more successful than them. So those are the two major Twitter fights that happened between the Wanted and One Direction. Not really One Direction, mainly just Louis, Liam, and Zayn. It was just one of those boy band rivalries. Something that's just very memorable because it happened. They were always making jabs at each other in the media, in interviews, on Twitter. They just did not get along, did not like each other, and it was very clear. They made that clear. So that's why it's so memorable. Like, One Direction fans hated the Wanted fans, and the Wanted fans hated One Direction stans.
I didn't expect this at all. Like, the first one was extremely sad because Zayn left band, all this stuff. I don't even laugh when I'm saying that, but straight after this, it's like this feud with the one that I didn't even know that band like that exists. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to hate the Wanted right now because I wasn't there when all of this stuff was happening. When Zayn responded, when Louis started this conversation, when Liam entered the chat, I can't judge people without knowing them well. Like, you know, I know the Wanted only from this video, and I cannot say that, oh my god, I hate this band just because all of this happened. I just wanted to say that don't be jealous of each other. Don't compare you with other people. Don't ever do that. It's ridiculous. Just spend time of your life to do this. Recently, I wasn't searching for this, but I found a great phrase. I forgot who said this. I don't remember exactly what was in this phrase, but I remember the meaning of it. Like, spending time of your life on being jealous or always looking at other people and hating people, you will not have time to love. And this is so simple, but this is so wise at the same time, like, so clever, because literally, don't spend your time. Whenever you are jealous, just sit down or just stand, whatever. Just stop and think about why are you jealous right now? Why are you doing this right now? I know it's turning into a psychology lecture right now, but if you... the last thing I wanted to say in this discussion is that if you want to end something, if you want to finish some discussion, conversation with people, just finish this. Don't continue this. The last tweet that she mentioned, the longest tweet, yeah? It was like, okay, let's stop doing it, okay, la la la. And then he started doing the same thing that his band was doing all this time. Like, why? You want to finish this? Finish this already. Finish this, goddamn. Just don't do that. I'm becoming better. So yeah guys, I really hope that you like this video, and what do you think about all this situation with Zayn leaving the band? What was your reaction on it when you firstly knew about this? Because my reaction was like, what? If be honest, Zayn was the first member of One Direction that I knew. Subscribe to this channel. This is Angel channel. I adore this channel. Like, hey Angel, she is an angel. Free compliments from me. And yeah, give me feedback such as likes to let me know what you like, or maybe you don't like something. Anyway, give me feedback because I need to know what to do with my channel, what you want me to watch next. I'm planning to watch The Bright Side of One Direction, as I already said in my previous videos. So yeah, watch my previous video, Louis supporting Harry. I hope that you are safe and healthy. Don't forget to smile and treat people with kindness, guys. I hope that everything is okay. Bye guys, see you in the next video. Love you.